Okay, hello. I wasn't too proud of my past ramblings about episode 3. I did those a while ago. It's been a few days since I've done that, or recorded that. Anyway, I just wanted to make things absolutely clear that the show is bad. Episode 3 was a catastrophe of stupidity. You can't just bring one of your most popular characters in the series and then just have them show up and basically do nothing, and then have your other most popular character in your entire series become a bumbling fool, right? And yeah, I'm talking about Obi-Wan, and that's what really the show is turning into. Even this episode 4, Obi-Wan is just becoming. They're just making him incompetent for no reason other than to progress the plot. Cause think about it, all right. Second episode. The first episode, Leia gets captured. Second episode, immediately Obi-Wan finds her and you rescues her. This episode, episode 3, we're with Leia and Obi-Wan. They have awful conversations. There's nothing substantive at all. It's all surface level bullshit with bad dialogue. Then we get to the destruction of past OT dialogue and other lore intensive problems. And that I mean that happened in episode 2 as well. Just completely destroying canon. I guess that it's the showrunners have no idea what they're doing, and the writers. Then we're in episode 3. Leia gets captured again, and now we're in episode 4 where Obi-Wan saves her again. The plot the show has lost its plot. Is the next episode 5, Leia's gonna get captured again? What's happening here? You can't. Why even make the show, right? What's happening? It makes it worse that what the events happening here right now in the show in this series are never going to be carried over in any other future event. And I have no doubt that Ahsoka's gonna brush past all this Obi-Wan shit. There's gonna be there are more shows after that. I can't remember any at the top of my head right now, but I know there are more coming. And these events will never be mentioned ever again. It's all pointless. It just makes it worse because the reason for the show in itself is just to make money, right? Disney wants money. We're gonna use Obi-Wan as the titular character to create create a show that'll make us more money. We're using the Obi-Wan IP to draw people in, and we're gonna use the Vader IP to draw people in. The problem is with doing this though is that you're creating this uh, uh, I want to call it a space, but that I'm just gonna use that word for now. A space where your characters are being your past characters that people like and that have been built up for over 40 years, right? How are now going downhill into the territory of destroying them in a sense, character wise. So, for instance, Obi-Wan is constantly in the show already. It's just immediately being I it's kind of weird how to put this. He is no longer an actor in his own show. He's being dragged around by everything else and by things he doesn't want to do, and it makes it worse because he is incompetent. There are many scenes in this show where it seems as Obi-Wan's intelligence has been downgraded for the sake of other characters. Even more specifically, Leia. Leia, for some reason, is smarter than Obi-Wan as a 10-year-old child, and is insightful in many ways that Obi-Wan is not being insightful in the show, or she has more. She can see the brighter side of more situations than Obi-Wan, and maybe that makes sense because Obi-Wan's put it down in the dumps, since Revenge of the Sith, and that was okay, but him being down in the dumps is fine. 10 years, whatever. He's been through a lot, whatever. But using Leia and Reva as a vehicle to make Obi-Wan stupider and having him being more incompetent in situations is not good. That's not something you do to your characters, your beloved characters that have been built up again for 40 years or whatever. And it's not right, and obviously the fans aren't gonna like it. So that's what basically I'm talking about the backlash from the fans, and the backlash from those articles that the showrunners have been making, and they're very upset with the fans. Like, why don't you like this show? What do you mean? Why don't we like it? Look what you're doing. Look what you have been doing. You know, Star Wars used to be good before you got your grubby hands on it, Disney. It's like you guys don't have a fucking plan, right? Again, back to what I'm saying. This show is going to have no impact on the future of Star Wars. I doubt it'll be mentioned at all. Where's Ahsoka in the show? Why isn't Ahsoka one of the people that help Obi-Wan? Right? Wouldn't that be like crazy? Obi-Wan and Ahsoka meet again and discover that Anakin's alive or something, even though that this is another thing. Obi-Wan knows that Anakin was Vader. This happened in episode 2. Like he acts so surprised that Anakin was alive, even though, or that Anakin was Vader. He knew that. He knew he should know this anyway, because he saw it in Revenge of the Sith. Fuck. Anyway, the backlash, I believe it to be incredibly forthcoming, and it's like obvious. Like yes, there should be backlash. It's of course it is. So I'm not jiving with what's happening. It only hurts me more to see like it doesn't actually hurt me. It's more funny, but it's frustrating. It's more frustrating. I should use that word. I'm not actually hurt. I am frustrated. I'm frustrated to like watch this end up happening, having it's gonna have no meaning later into like the future of whatever canon Star Wars is gonna make, because the showrunners have no plan, right? And if Disney has no plan, about the like lore and connecting these shows, all they want is more money. That's all they really want. All this other bullshit is secondary. But yeah, okay, we can just get into the episode now. I just want to like a slight little rant, maybe more coherently than my last recording. I'm not scrunched for time anymore. So that's good. So I'm gonna talk about it in depth, as much as I can anyway. So hopefully that'll be good. All right. So here we go. Obi-Wan and Game of Thrones girl. I can't believe I forget her name, dude. She's such a good actor. She's in Rome too, in that really old show in HBO. I should have looked her name up. Whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you've seen the show, you know her. That's the girl from Game of Thrones. She's the Sand Snake's mom or whatever. She's like the fucking cobra. Anyway, yeah. So she saves him after she leaves Leia to get captured. What are we doing already, right? Like you don't leave a child to in the tunnels alone, and then obviously Reva finds her, and then somehow, right? Even though there's like some sort of weird network of tunnels underground, and Reva just immediately finds the place where Leia is, exactly where she needs to be to get her and find her somehow. Even it's crazy. The logic it doesn't make any sense at all. Um, they put Obi-Wan in the bacta tank. He gets a little soak, and this could have been like a cool scene because Obi-Wan and Vader are connected, like spiritually and like through the Force. So Obi-Wan's like feeling pain from like meeting Vader in like psychologically. He's also like hurt from the fire, even though he should be way more hurt. Like all he got like singed on the right side of his body. But when you watch what happens to Obi-Wan, and I'm still talking about episode 3. Episode 3 was a catastrophe. He like did he Vader like pushes his entire body onto like scorching hot fire, and he just gets like little burns out of it. If you remember like Revenge of the Sith, Anakin gets like super burned from like barely touching lava, and just like lights his whole body on fire after he's chopped up, and he's like burning everywhere. It's crazy. And now Obi-Wan just gets like it gets like first degree burns, second degree burns. One soak in the back of the tank is all he needs, and he's back at it again. It's crazy. All right, so now he's asking these people for help. They're not like soldiers. They're just like underground sort of black market. I wouldn't even say they're black market like people. That they're just smugglers essentially, but not like to the level of Han Solo. I don't think anyway, because they make a mention they don't have weapons. They're just trying to help people, so they're not under any like syndicate, I guess, like the Huts or anything like that. They're their own like organization that is helping Jedi, and they are helping like people from the Empire. that's also like a good idea. That this, but like their organization is not going to get expanded at all. I don't believe so anyway. Why would they, right? Why would they do that? But I think that's interesting too. Like, what are these actors in the show doing? Like, cause this is something we don't see. Like, why is the Empire so bad? What have they been doing that is so bad? We don't really actually see that, other than them just like indiscriminately killing people for no reason. So why would the Empire be doing that? Because there are Empire like supporters and sympathizers, but like actually, so that means the Empire has to be doing good things too in the galaxy, but we just don't see it. They're just wholly evil. Otherwise, the rebellion would have happened way sooner, right? It's almost like this non-disclosed thing, in the wider array of like the lore of Star Wars. Like, yes, everyone knows the Galactic Empire is bad, but we put up with them because they're doing some good things, but we don't see that. So they just are wholly evil. We would never see them do good things, right? Because then that would like destroy the narrative. We can't have that. We can't destroy the narrative. Anyway, um, there was like disagreements before Obi-Wan finally convinces these people to like, no, please help me. We have to get Leia back. She's very important. Guys like, fine, we'll help you. We want to help you. We'll do it. We'll make a plan. And basically, Leia was brought to the Inquisitor's fortress. Now, the Inquisitor's fortress is very disgusting and weird. It's actually almost retarded. Almost retarded. Not quite there. It's like a smidge above retarded. It's got a smidge of autism to like why this building exists. It's just this one large like pyramid-like building in the middle of the ocean, right? For no reason, and it is the fortress of this moon. Let's look at like another space where we know, but like there's ocean and other buildings. All right, Camino. Camino's like this whole cool society of many buildings and many things. It's a bigger array of facilities. That are like helping the Republic, so it makes sense, and they're in the water because this is their home planet, and they evolved here or whatever. Um, and so it makes sense. It makes sense that they're there in this place. Um, where they have like more defenses. This is just one building in the middle of the ocean. It's a huge building. I'll give it that, but it's not huge for Star Wars standards. Like all these buildings are like sort of the same size and whatnot. We don't really get like an accurate reading of just how much like supplies this one like facility has. Um, we get that in like Camino. We get there's tons of things happening there because there's like it's almost like their own society and they're making clones, right? So they need all these things. They need training equipment. They need whatever, ships, guns, lasers, whatever. They got it all. This building in the Inquisitor's stronghold, it's not wholly like recognized. I don't think anyway as as an actual fortress. We see some shots of like tie fighters like hanging from the ceiling of the building. Like, okay. um, and we get shots of like their officers here doing stuff. We don't know. I don't understand like why they're here though. What's their job? What are the jobs of the people here at this like one facility? What are they doing? What are they making? We don't get that. It just annoys me. It's not like integral to the plot of the episode. Unbelievably, it should be, but it's not. Anyway, so here's the plan. Obi-Wan and Officer Girl are gonna, from Game of Thrones, they're gonna infiltrate the building to get Leia back. This is the plan, right? So the Officer Girl from Episode 3, she basically betrayed the Empire, and she was undercover for the organization that she's working for because she doesn't like the Empire. In that episode, though, I didn't really talk about it. In that episode, when like Obi-Wan and Leia are like almost getting captured again from like the stormtrooper fight, she shows up and blasts a bunch of stormtroopers in their bodies. Um, she kills them. She kills them. She was the one that Obi-Wan and Leia were waiting for, but decided not to wait. And well, you guys left. Why did you leave? I was almost there. So she ended up finding them somehow, and then saved them again, right? So she kills a bunch of people. She really, realistically, she should have been found out as a traitor for the Empire, but like doesn't. So her codes work. It's also strange because the code she used, her station's on another planet, right? But she like intimidates the security officer guy to get into the building. It's like, okay. Already we're like, she should be immediately found out and captured or killed. There's no way that with how like smart Reva is, or third sister is, there's no way she wouldn't find out that in that episode that she was a traitor, and she actually does in this episode, just from like talking to her. One sentence from her, she's like, "No, you're a traitor. I can feel it." What do you mean? God, the mind. Also, another thing, the Force is still like a problem within new Star Wars. It's like becoming like aggressively more and more powerful and just more and more ridiculous. Like the things Reva can do with the Force, with like her mind, she can just like read minds basically. She doesn't have to extract information out of people. It's not painful either. She can just do it and it's easy and she just knows. Whatever. It's like I'm watching it's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. Anyway, they get in. Obi-Wan's so their plan is the officer lady, I'm not gonna remember her name, the girl from Game of Thrones. She's gonna let Obi-Wan in through like the ducts underwater. That's okay, I guess. Obi-Wan has one of those rebreathers. Obviously, he can stay in there for long periods of time. That's fine. Any creatures in the water that could possibly kill Obi-Wan, we don't know. Whatever. That's up to the show. They didn't do it though. An undetermined amount of time. How long Obi-Wan was waiting in the ocean for Reva to like sneak in there and then have him escape through the air duct or whatever, the duct to get into the building. This is where the stupid shit happens. Okay, Obi-Wan gets in. Um, he's all wet. Just kidding, he's not. The next scene, we see him. He comes out of the water. He's bone dry. Hilarious. I laughed so hard. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. I made that. I audibly said it to myself. I audibly said it to myself watching the episode. Oh my god! I bet you when he comes out of that water, he's not gonna be wet, and he's not gonna be making any tracks for people to find him in. Exactly what happened. It was crazy. Um, this is the thing. Okay, so at this point, Obi-Wan's like communicating with Game of Thrones girl to try and find Leia. Leia's being interrogated by Reva, and so this is the other thing. Okay, the Leia as an insightful like 10-year-old, we have to stop. She needs to act more like a kid. She's being interrogated by this like Inquisitor who can use the Force, and Leia hasn't cried. She's not breaking. She's just super resilient for no reason. This is unrealistic, right? Leia is a 10-year-old little girl. She's been through a lot. She should be at her like breaking point mentally and physically. Like she hasn't had like a good rest in a while, right? In like since the start of this series. Since she got captured. She should be like really at her breaking point and they're like her easiest to manipulate, but she's not. In fact, Reva uses the Force to try and extract information from her, and she can't. She resists somehow because Leia has the Force, and is more strong, more powerful though than Obi-Wan too, I guess. It's really disheartening to watch that. And sooner, all right, Reva's like, all right, fine. You're not telling me what I want to tell you, so now I am going to torture you. It doesn't matter. At this point, the Game of Thrones girl and Obi-Wan are hot on her heels, basically. They create a distraction for Reva. This is where Reva has this like scene with like Game of Thrones girl. No, you are a traitor, and the lights go off, whatever. And Obi-Wan saves her. And there's a scene. There's like I guess a heartwarming scene between Obi-Wan and Leia, but not really. Almost pathetically, like you guys have been through a lot. I expect more from this, but we don't need that. I guess we gotta go anyway because the alarms are going off, so they gotta run. And then multiple times, Obi-Wan should have been seen like when he doesn't have Leia. There's like probe droids all around the facility. He's like and stormtroopers, so he should have been seen at one point, but like he's not. And literally, there was a scene that was like, I swear to God, this probe droid should have saw you. Like it has like 50 eyes around its fucking head. How did it not see you? Apparently, only the middle one works. The other ones are just for show. um, They save her. It's good. It's fine. Um, they meet back up with Game of Thrones girl. We get a really retarded scene where Leia's like under the coat of Obi-Wan, and he's just walking around with his face all open. It's fine. Um, and that's that. They don't, she's literally like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna have to show the scene because they walk through this like giant like space with no one like really talking to them, and the only one who does are the Inquisitors. Like, no, it's you. So the only one wants you to know. People apparently still in Star Wars like don't know about like Obi-Wan's face, even though all these stormtroopers, all the officers on this facility should exactly know who he is and what he looks like. Apparently they don't.
I want the base shut down. Now!
Almost there.
A child and an old man. Was it worth it? Betraying everything you own.
It's super funny in this clip too, because if you look closely, there's stormtroopers that don't have their like guns pulled out, so they're not like trying to shoot Obi-Wan and the girl, but so they're just walking past in the scene, right? Like they're extras, even though this is like a really high tense situation, but they're not doing anything. Anyway. Then they get into a scuffle. They all get into a scuffle where Obi-Wan, Leia, and the Game of Thrones girl are saved by the people who helped them in the beginning of the episode. This is part of the plan. They came in on their ships and start blowing up the stuff in the facility. No, the people, the Empire, they don't activate their TIE fighters. They don't. They try shooting back, but they can't. Their weapons, they don't have cannons. All they have are like blaster bolts, so they don't really do anything. Except for Reva. At the end, when they are escaping, Reva ends up throwing. She throws like some sort of like metal object with the Force, and in the most grossest way possible. It's pretty funny. I won't show it though. And blows up one of the ships. People are sad now, and there's this, yeah, like the other girl who saved them is sad as they're like escaping, and Game of Thrones girl does this like really savage burn that is like terrible in many ways. So in the beginning of the episode, she's like, there's this like before they like decided to help them, we're like, we're not soldiers, we can't do much for you. And there's like, you still gotta help us, right? In this, at the end, Game of Thrones girl is like, you're soldiers now. After this girl's really sad about the death of her friend. I'm like, what are we doing? Why did you say that? I'll show this because I thought it was hilarious.
Shields.
That's because no one would be stupid enough to attack them.
We could take those speeders, go in at night. You have some T-47s in the hangar.
It's suicide.
Well, we need to find a way inside.
Oh, we're not soldiers. Those speeders are for hauling sewage.
She's 10 years old. I won't leave her there. I'll go on my own.
Where's Wade?
Guess you're soldiers now, after all.
Why did you say this? Why? What was the point? Like, it's funny, but I don't think not the right time. Okay, clearly. And that was the end of the episode. It was incredibly. It was like 10 minutes shorter than the rest of the episodes. I thank God, I guess, cause fuck. Episode 4, we just keep getting worse and worse. It's this show obviously is not good. We can everyone I think who's watched it so far can like, if you have like a critical mind, you can tell that like something's wrong. Maybe you don't know what that is, but hopefully through this you can like find out about like some of the chinks in the armor of this episode, which there are a lot. It's like this like I use it like a stupid like metaphor or analogy. The show is Swiss cheese, and I'm just revealing all those. I just want to reveal all the holes, okay, in case you're blind. um, Anyway, oh fuck. Um, in the next episode, uh, I don't watch like the trailers for it. You know, I don't spoil myself. It's already out. I know that. But that video will come out soon. I'm thinking that we're gonna get we're definitely gonna get like a final Vader fight at the end of the show that'll have like no meaning whatsoever towards the like it'll probably completely destroy meaning from the OT. That's what it's doing. Um, no, I won't be happy about that. I wasn't happy about the first one. It was just awfully choreographed. Vader was swinging his sword with the lightsaber with one hand, and Obi-Wan just blocking. Like, it's almost like they just don't want to do all the like highly skilled choreograph from the prequels, like the dancing. People complain about like, wow, the Jedi are like kind of dancing a lot, almost, and they're going really fast. I was actually like that. I like that aspect from the prequels. Like people were faster. This seemed like how because lightsabers don't have an edge and like they don't have weight, you can go faster, right? That's what I assume anyway. Like as far as I know from canon, yeah, lightsabers don't have weight. So I'm particular. I like that like you could go faster with the lightsabers and like do things that you couldn't with an actual blade. And because like the people who wield lightsabers are the people who use the force, they have better reflexes and there's more strength, so they can do these things. And that was okay. It seems that the new trilogy really wants to get away from that. That's the one of the complaints that they decided to try and fix. They actually ended up making worse because now the lightsaber fights are just like holy shit bad, like almost unwatchable, really unwatchable, and not fun to in any way, shape, or form. Jesus. Um, Okay, I think that's all I'm going to say about this episode. It was bad. Was it as bad as episode 3? No. It didn't completely make Obi-Wan incompetent again, but he's still incompetent, and he's almost a bumbling fool at this point. It is making Vader incompetent. Cause oh shit, I forgot about the scene. I hated it so much. It was hilarious, right? After they escape, Vader comes to the Inquisitor fortress, and he literally attacks Reva. He force chokes her. He's like, "You have failed me. You know what would happen to you if you failed me." And immediately as that said, "Oh, she's fine." It was 10 seconds later, no, like 5 seconds of him like choking her. He's like, never mind. Like, yep. Why? Of course she's fine. She'll either die at the end of this series or she won't die at all, and she'll be like a mainstay. She'll be like Vader's new apprentice or something, and like they'll retroactively insert her into the OT and whatever like canon they're gonna make up for the rest of the series and in the future. It was just funny to see Obi-Wan, no, to see Vader like go like appear, choke her, and then, oh right, you're a main character. I can't do that. Plot armor. Like, what are we doing? It was obvious too. Oh god, like I'm laughing, but I am frustrated. I'm very mad. It shouldn't have happened. Anyway, that was the episode. Um, what's gonna happen next? I have no idea. Um, I'm thinking that, listen, if Leia somehow gets recaptured in this episode 5, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose it. I don't think I could watch it if that happens. That would be hilarious. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's like, what else are they gonna do? The plot. What's the plot? So Obi-Wan has to get Leia to Alderaan, right? What's gonna happen to Bail Organa? Because they know that the Inquisitors in the Empire know that Bail Organa has ties to Obi-Wan. So how does this work? See, they're destroying canon. They can't do this. This is the problem with this show. They're like destroying previous canon. This is bad. It's not good to retcon previously established content. We can't do it. It's we have to stop. If you don't understand why that's bad, like listen, think of all the things that happened in the OT and all the things that went down, how it went down. Now we're like watching this show and all the things that like don't make that wouldn't have made sense in the OT. So like Bail Organa being a secret like supporter of the Jedi. He was secret. The Empire didn't know about that. We didn't know about that in the OT or in the prequels. But now they're like doing this thing in this show where yes, people now the Empire knows that Bail Organa is in fact a supporter of the Jedi, and he is Obi-Wan's friend. How he is a senator. He is an important man. He is king of a planet. How is Bale gonna be come out of this unscathed? He couldn't possibly. If he did, that makes the Empire incompetent. Now we have another problem, right? Now there's another problem, and it just keeps creating more and more problems. It's spiraling out of fucking control. And all right, all right, I'll stop rambling over content over. Um, this would be like the one time I'm gonna say this. Please like the video. If you like this channel, please subscribe. I can't. It's so creepy saying. I haven't said that in like my entire like time making videos, but now I am. Anyway, all right, that's it. See ya.